Bitcoin has gotten through its riskiest period.
So much is happening in crypto and around the world. Japan just crashed crypto. It seems like every day we hear about something else causing fear, uncertainty, and doubt in the market. In today's case, it's the Bank of Japan turning hawkish, rate hikes, and breaking news, Japan's 10-year government bond yield surges to 1.84%, its highest level since April of 2008. This chart is concerning, to say the least. However, keep in mind, this news has nothing to do with Bitcoin and crypto fundamentally. Fundamentally, Bitcoin and crypto are just fine, and in fact, Japan is adopting Bitcoin and crypto just like every other major country in the world, with the United States of America leading the way. Just in, the NASDAQ is accelerating its push to launch blockchain-based settlements for stocks. Yes, we know BlackRock is doing this. We know every major U.S. financial institution is doing this. BlackRock putting out a report today saying tokenization is shaping the next evolution of global markets. Larry Fink discusses how tokenization can modernize market infrastructure, enhancing efficiency, transparency, and access by connecting traditional and digital finance. Larry Fink has talked bullishly on Bitcoin and Ethereum before, and as the Bitwise CEO reminds us, tokenization requires L1s, DeFi, etc. In my opinion, feeling bearish is short-sighted considering all this. And unbelievable news today, this tweet is blowing up. Breaking news, Vanguard does a full 180 on crypto. This 11 trillion financial giant will finally allow clients to buy crypto ETFs starting tomorrow. One of the last big financial giants to capitulate like this. Reminder how it started. Vanguard chief says you will never see a Bitcoin fund from us. Cut to today, how it's going. Vanguard will now allow crypto ETFs on its platform. Also, keep this in mind. The next FOMC Fed meeting is December 10th. It is highly anticipated and expected that Jerome Powell will cut rates by another 25 basis points on the 10th. However, tonight, Fed Chair Powell will kind of hint at what he's going to do on the 10th and for the foreseeable future until his term ends middle of next year, kind of early to middle next year. So Jerome Powell is speaking tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Expect volatility. And what would be bullish is if he confirms a rate cut in December and if he confirms quantitative tightening is ending and maybe even easing is on the horizon. What do you think he's going to say? This was significant. Bitcoin and crypto's largest company and spokesperson tweeted out something kind of odd over the weekend. He says, what if we start adding green dots? As you know, the orange dot represents all the buys strategy has done since its inception with the Bitcoin buys. Michael Saylor has made it a habit to tweet on the weekend something cryptic like this involving orange dots, and then on Monday morning he announces the buy. Well, over the weekend, Michael Saylor teases the cryptic green dot, and orange dot means strategy is buying Bitcoin. So what will the green dot mean? We asked you. Well, Monday morning he announced this, the formation of a 1.44 billion USD reserve. Now he did buy more Bitcoin as well, but this was the big news. This was the green dot.
Strategy is forming a nearly $1.5 billion US reserve. According to the news release, the reserve was established to support the payment of dividends on its preferred stock and interest on its outstanding dividends. Now, the funds for the reserve were raised through the sales of common stock, and the company initially plans to keep enough money in the reserve to fund at least 12 months of dividends. Strategy says it plans to add to the reserve over time with the goal of covering 2 years or more of its dividends. Also, the company announced it slashed its full-year profit and Bitcoin yield targets due to the recent big drops in Bitcoin's price. Saylor announced on X this morning that the firm had added to its Bitcoin holdings, bringing its total stake to 650,000 tokens. Now, as of noon, Strategy shares dropped more than 11%.
Guys, smash the like button if you appreciate us coming at you on a daily basis. And make sure you subscribe to Altcoin Daily for more daily crypto videos keeping you informed just like this. 2025, if it ended today, was a wash for Bitcoin. We started 2025 like we ended 2025. Now, it's important to keep in mind, this could still flip green by the time we hit January 1st of next year. But either way, the trend is still undeniably bullish. Who disagrees that the trend is undeniably bullish? And understand this. This is the third most oversold level for Bitcoin ever when it comes to short-term holders. The only two times Bitcoin was more oversold for short-term holders was the bottom of the bear market in 2018. I was there. And the bottom in May of 2021, I was there. This shows us that short-term holders, the emotional holders, have utterly capitulated beyond belief. They are wrecked. Every time this oscillator has pushed sharply into green, it has marked at least a decent local bottom. And I want to speak directly to you now. I have been full-time crypto for 8 years. Many of you have been on this journey for many years with us. We have survived multiple bull and bear markets. When the dust settles, the wealth flows to those who stayed when it was hard and boring. We're still early. Being this early is painful, but it pays. And Bitcoin is digital gold. Regular gold, since the ETFs launched in 2004, gained an average of 7% every year. Now, Michael Saylor is projecting that Bitcoin gains an average of 20% over the next, several decades. Either way, I think Bitcoin is going to follow a similar path as gold. Now that, when the ETFs launched and gold got kind of institutionalized on Wall Street and this happened, this was very bullish. I expect something similar to happen with Bitcoin. Bitcoin is uncorrelated, and more people are realizing that. Former NASDAQ CEO tells CNBC that Bitcoin is a completely uncorrelated asset. People are looking for assets like this. This is good.
In full disclosure, I have a hard time valuing something when there's no cash flows. It's hard to discount cash flows that don't exist with a business model. But that being said, there are different correlations. I think none of them apply over the long period of time. And I think crypto, Bitcoin in particular, is its own thing with its own buying and selling patterns. I think you also have to look at the ownership of crypto on chain and see how concentrated that is and what that might mean to price movements. I think in many ways that's more important.
So finally, I want to share with you this clip again where they really corner Michael Saylor here and say, hey, what if Bitcoin doesn't keep going up forever? What if we see an extended bear market like we've never seen before? Well, here Michael Saylor explains why winter's not coming back and a deep bear market like we've seen in the past won't happen. My name is Aaron at Altcoin Daily. Subscribe to our channel, join our team, and I'll see you tomorrow.
How do you expect the asset to continue a price increase at these levels that we've seen? I mean, can it keep that up over the next 5 years, over the next 10 years? And at what point do we see, winter coming again? Because that's been a permanent fixture of this asset class, right? It's gone from 0 or 1,000 to 20, and then back down to 3 or 4, and then up to 50, and then back down to 15, and now up to 110. Like, when does it drop again?
Winter's not coming back. We're past that. We're past that phase. If Bitcoin's not going to 0, it's going to $1 million. And you have all the evidence you need to determine that, right? The President of the United States has determined he supports Bitcoin. The cabinet supports Bitcoin. Scott Bessent supports Bitcoin. Paul Atkins has shown himself to be an enthusiastic believer of Bitcoin and digital assets. Ken Tez at CFTC feels the same way. The banks are going to custody Bitcoin. Bitcoin has gotten through its riskiest period. The accounting has been corrected. There's now only 450 Bitcoin a day available for sale by natural sellers. That's the miners. At this level, that works out to about $50 million of Bitcoin available for sale every day. If that $50 million is bought, then the price has got to move up to find any seller that's price sensitive. Now, if you do the math, you'll actually see the Bitcoin treasury companies by themselves are buying the entire natural supply.
Yeah.
BlackRock and the ETFs are buying another measure of that. And we've got nation state actors coming into the space. So I think when Bitcoin rallies, if it surges to 500,000 or $1 million, then maybe we could talk about it crashing down by $200,000 a coin. But at the current price levels, it only takes $50 million to turn the entire drive shaft of the crypto economy one turn. And you've got the Trump media organization announcing
Right.
$2.5 billion. You've got GameStop announcing $500 million. You've got my company that's raising billions and